Hey everyone, Shaun Stevenson here, and I want to just say Happy Mother's Day because today I have a very special video. I wanted to highlight some of my favorite mom characters in books. Now, I gotta say, this was actually kind of a difficult list to make because I'm going off of all middle grade and YA books. And a lot of times, middle grade and YA books, either mom is gone, mom is missing, or there is no mom. So it was a little hard to come up with a list. I did it. I came up with 6 moms that I think are super awesome mom characters in middle grade and YA books. So all of these are fantasy or spooky books or sci-fi books because that's what I like to read. So this is out of the books I have read. You might think, well, I know a better mom than that in a book. Then that's great. Put it down in the comments below. This is just out of the books that I've read because I always want to make sure when I do a list like this that I've read the stuff so I have accurate information to give you and that I know what I'm talking about instead of just saying, well, oh yeah, I think there's a good mom in that book and then it's not actually that. So some of these moms are not traditional moms. They are moms of kind of like happenstance a couple of times. And some of these moms are amazing. Actually, all of these moms are amazing. So let's get into the list. Yanae in Monsterious Terror in Shadow Canyon by Matt McMahon. Now, Yanae is one of the moms that goes with this group of kids as they're out to get like kind of like a ranger badge kind of thing, like a scouting type thing. It's not called that in the books, but she is one of the scout leaders, and she's an amazing mom. She brings such a great knowledge of the forest, of just doing like hiking and how to camp and trails and food gathering and those sorts of things. She just knows what's up. And she's a really great, like, kind of no nonsense sort of person in the sense of when it comes down to it and there's a scary moment, Yanae steps in and she is a boss. Like, she's just like, I'm going to take care of this situation. And she just does it and helps the kids and helps fight their way out of what's happening. So I just thought, oh, she's a great character. She was a really fun mom and a really well done character just from that point of view of being a strong woman who is going to just make it happen. So that is my first pick. Number 6. Yanae in Monsterious Terror in Shadow Canyon by Matt McMahon. So my number 5 favorite mom in fiction is Mrs. Williams in the Forbidden Doors series. Now this is book number 1, The Society, where Mrs. Williams is introduced, but she's throughout all 12 books of the series. And I gotta say, she is an awesome mom, and here's why. So she is a single mom because dad is gone in this series, and she is so great at being such a strong pillar for her family, but also being like this person who has been deeply wounded by this loss of her husband. But she's always there for her kids, and she's working hard, she's making ends meet, and she's always willing to listen to her kids, give them advice, and she never comes across as like, I'm gonna nag you, or I'm gonna, oh, you should be doing this. She listens to her kids, she gives them good advice, and sometimes she's wrong, and she owns up to it when she's wrong. And I thought that was a really well done character throughout this series. She has flaws, and she owns those flaws. I also thought it was so interesting the ways that she doesn't exactly always get involved with the kids, but she's not unaware. Like sometimes in kids' books, parents are just like unaware of what's going on. They're like, I don't know what's happening. She's aware. She shows up. She helps to save the day sometimes. And she is a vital character to this series. And so I thought that this mom, Mrs. Williams, was really well done in that sense. She's just like the kind of lady that she'll like sit and listen to you, and then she'll kind of make fun of you a little bit and like laugh with you, but then she will be at your side when you need her. And that is exactly what this kind of mom is, and she's making it happen. Now my number 4 mom is not actually a mom, but she's like everyone would want her as a mom kind of person. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Jessica Fletcher. That's right. Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote. I don't know how she has so many relatives, but she does. She has like a million zillion cousins and nephews and nieces, and I don't think she has, well, she has to have siblings if she has nieces and nephews, but we never ever see the siblings. I don't know. But Jessica Fletcher is one of those people who you just can't help but smile when she's around. And she is so great at her writing. She's a really good artist and she's really well versed. She knows her stuff. She's really smart and savvy and she makes things happen. And I think that she's the kind of lady, maybe she's a little bit of a grandma territory because of her age, but I'm an adult. I would want her as a mom. She's an awesome mom. I have an awesome mom. But Jessica Fletcher is a great mom too. So in that way, she takes care of people, and especially when her family members are in trouble, she steps up to help them. She will stop at nothing to help her family. And I think that that's just such an admirable trait. She's a career woman and she's very successful and she knows what's up. She's a teacher as well. She often teaches writing in different books in the series and so she's often a professor and she's teaching and she's writing and she's very successful, which is awesome. And she just is a person who cares about everyone. Like she is one of those people that's a found mom, I think, for a lot of people who just kind of find comfort in her and comfort in who she is as a person and just know that, she's going to figure it out. She's going to save the day. She's going to solve the mystery because she always does. She's never not solved a mystery. So Jessica Fletcher, my number 4 pick for Best Moms in Fiction. My number 3 pick for a best mom in YA middle grade fiction is Jack Starbright in the Alex Rider series. Now, Jack Starbright, she is also kind of a found mom in a way because she is actually Alex's kind of like guardian. She starts off as like a nanny kind of person, but then she becomes the guardian of Alex Rider after a while. And she is just such a great character, especially when she gets involved in the missions. It's so much fun. She has such a great poise and she knows what to say. She's also very savvy and she is so loyal. She's not going to leave Alex's side because she's like, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to help you, Alex. I am here for you. Whatever you need, I'm here to help you. And she also has dreams of her own that she's pursuing. And I love that she doesn't set those dreams aside. She goes after them. She's becoming a lawyer. She goes to school for that throughout the series. And I thought that was it's so great to see her evolve as a character throughout the books, even though a lot of times she's a little bit in the background, but she's always there for Alex. Often she is like the opposite to Mrs. Jones, who Mrs. Jones is part of MI6 in this series, who Alex Rider's a spy working for MI6 as a teenager. And Mrs. Jones, she's kind of like a little bit of a different kind of mom to Alex, but Jack is like this comforting home that he can always come back to. And Jack is always there for him. So I love Jack Starbright as a character. I think she's so awesome. She's so great at standing up for what's right, too. She is not afraid to say when there is something wrong. She will stand up and say, nope, this is wrong. You can't do this. And sometimes she does get overruled because MI6 has their own agenda. But she also always will speak her mind, and even to Alex, and tell him what she thinks, which I think is really great. She doesn't hold anything in. She just tells him what she thinks. And Alex and her have a great relationship that way, where he's willing to listen to her and hear her point of view, and sometimes take her advice because she has good ideas sometimes that come in to save the day. And then my number 2 favorite mom in middle grade and YA fiction is Sally Jackson from the Percy Jackson series. So in this first book, she's a little bit sidelined in The Lightning Thief because she gets gold dusted somewhere that I'm not going to say. In case you haven't read this book, then I won't give you the spoiler. But she is such a great mom for Percy. She's in a difficult relationship, and yet she is committed to helping Percy be as successful as he can be in life, even though he has this huge thing that is a part of his life that she can only kind of half step into, because Percy Jackson is a demigod, so he's half human, half god, and his mom is human. And so she can't always step into the worlds that he is stepping into, but when she does show up, she is always there to protect her son, to be there for him, to look for the best for him, because she wants the best for him. And I love her character growth throughout the multiple series she appears in, because she is just so awesome, and she does fun things with Percy, especially she gets blue snacks and things like this. And I think that it's so awesome how she is always looking for ways to have fun with him in the midst of some really difficult situations. She's one of those people, I think, that can turn any situation into a bright sunny day, even if it's a downpouring storm. She can make it seem like the most adventurous moment you've ever had and just really helps you out. And so that is a really great mom, in my opinion, because she's always there for her kids. She's willing to help them no matter what to see them succeed in life. All right, now it's time for my number one favorite mom in middle grade YA fiction. It's always risky in middle grade fantasy, especially when the kids decide to loop in the parents. And this is actually a big pet peeve of mine in middle grade books, when the kids do not tell the adults stuff. And often it happens only because the author thinks, well, if I have the adult involved, they're going to tell the kids not to be involved, and the adult might just have an easy solution, and I want the kids to go through this difficult thing so they can save the day. So it's really frustrating. For instance, that happens all the time in Harry Potter. If the kids had just told the adults what was going on, then things would have been so different than they turn out. So it's always frustrating to me when that trope shows up in middle grade fiction, and I despise it. So when I was reading this book and the kids started telling their mom what was going on, I thought, oh, this is interesting. What are we going to do here? Is mom just going to shut this down? Or is mom going to get involved? And that's what happens in Janitors. My favorite mom in fiction is Alice Zumbro in the Janitors series by Tyler Whitesides. She is awesome because okay, so the setup of Janitors is that there's these magical janitor items, because there's this stuff called glop that can like make these items magical, like brooms and mops and stuff like this. And so in this series, Alice Zumbro finds out what's going on in this whole world of janitors, because at first only the kids know. But then the mom finds out and she gets involved. It was the best when later on in this book, there is a fight scene and an action scene that the mom gets involved in using the different items. And I thought, this is amazing. I love that this mom is involved, that she's all about what's happening. She is ready to just get in there and make it happen. And it was the best. I thought it was so great. And I loved it. Alice Zumbro loves her kids, cares about her kids, and she's committed to helping them no matter what, including if that means stepping in with a glopified mop to entangle some bad guys in the mop strings. It's just so great. I love it so much. It was like one of the best moments when she decides to step up. It almost reminded me of, now I know this might not age very well. Some people probably don't love this moment, but in episode 3 of the Star Wars series, when Yoda and the Emperor finally have a battle scene, that was one of my favorite moments, because I thought, oh, we're doing this? This is something I've always wanted to see. This is so great. And I remember thinking it was just so much fun to see that happen. That's kind of the feeling I had when Alice Zumbro gets into the action in this book. I thought, oh, she's going for it? This is amazing. I love it. And I love that she's working with her kids to save the day, which is so great, because sometimes in middle grade fiction and YA fiction, it kind of pits parents and kids against each other sometimes, and like doesn't have them work together very often. And I actually think it's the best, not when the parents are saying like, oh, you need to not do anything with this, or you need to stop this, and then the parent also doesn't do anything, but when the parents and the kids work together to save the day. That, in my opinion, is the best. I think it's so awesome when that happens. And so it was just so great. It was so great. And it made Alice Zumbro one of my favorite characters, because she's willing to get involved. So I know my mom watches this channel, and so I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom, who is an amazing mom. She beats all of these people, in my opinion, but that's just me. So whoever is a person for you in your life who, whether it's your mom or your grandma or an aunt or just that special person, let them know how much you care about them and love them today. And until next time, everybody, keep reading. Bye.